I want to blame it on the summer, on the warmth of its breezes, the glow of that golden hour where everything lights up, like there's nothing in the world that can't feel it. I always feel it. And I always blame it on the long nights when I'm stuck inside listening to my neighborhood continuing to live without me. You did not make me weak. You do not deserve the credit for the summer stories I wrote for myself, stories that hold little more than your likeness, but you blame the character I made you into for being so much more than you really are, and I am so sorry for hoping that somehow you'd write yourself into the secrets I've written for you. Sorry you're unable to give me any type of sign that maybe you do feel something. But I have had such a hard time not falling for smoke screens. I have difficulty tearing down the thrones I've built for those I've met, so instead, I blame it on the season. On the hot sun, the extra energy I've been given. I like to think I can will my stories into something, give myself the summers I read about, unobtainable and heart-wrenching stories meant to change lives and teach lessons. Summers I know I haven't earned. But I'll still write those stories, develop the characters of a young adult novel in my head, because it helps me through the rest of it. The part where it ends. Because it always ends. Welcome back to the Title Pending Podcast. My host is Willow, and this is... that's what I meant to say. My name is Willow, and I'm your host this and every week. I hope everybody has had a good 2 weeks not dealing with my voice in their YouTube inboxes. But I'm back. Welcome me. I'm sorry. That poem was something that I wrote while I was on vacation, or like right before I went on vacation with my family, which spiraled this whole 2-week hiatus that I took. First week was an accident. I played a game of Guess That Song with my friend, and the audio was absolute garbage. So I didn't use it because you guys are paying to listen to these, believe it or not, which that wouldn't have been worth your while. And maybe this isn't worth your while either. Maybe me reading my poems isn't like what you signed up for. But I did say poetry was going to be involved in what I'm doing. So, yeah, you kind of did this to yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I hope everyone is having a good Sunday afternoon, evening, wherever you are. It is 9 p.m. where I am, and I am coming to you live from my bedroom in my underwear. I hope everyone has that visual in their head. If you didn't before, you definitely do now. And I'm sorry, but if you follow my Finsta, you've seen enough of that already. Moving on. Okay, so I went on vacation last week to the beach. I'm a beach person. I am very low-level beach person where if you put me on the sand on a nice hot day, I'll fall asleep. Just wake me up to reapply sunscreen, and you'll never have to tolerate me doing anything ever again. I will sit there all day and read, or listen to music, or sleep, or go swim in the ocean. I love the beach. I don't love finding sand in every crack of my body, but I love the beach. And I took one of my friends with me, and we had a really good time. I spent most of the nights drunk, most of the days sweaty. The first 2 days we were in the middle of a massive heat wave, so that was fucking ridiculous. But overall, I had a good time. So, I didn't really prepare anything for you today, but I did want to speak about my schedule, how things are changing, how ridiculous that sounds to people who, go to college and do real people things. I go to community college, or I will be going to community college come the fall, and I'm nervous. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't been to school in a little over a year. I haven't needed to discipline myself into getting something done on time. I didn't need to be that organized in such a way. And I'm nervous because I fell out of the ritual that everybody falls out of when they take a gap year. And I lost a lot of motivation for myself, and I don't know if I'm going to get it back. So that's literally terrifying. I also work 2 jobs. I work at a cafe, and I work at a store at the mall. And my retail job is going to be picking up more hours because back to school is coming. Believe it or not, people are going to be in and out buying shoes up the wazoo these upcoming few weeks. And I'm nervous because I haven't done a big, busy sale since last holiday season, and I haven't been working as much because I have a second job. And, everything is just scary. I'm scared of everything, is what I'm trying to say. I'm having a crisis, and I'm scared. And I know most of my podcasts have become these existential conversations I have with myself. But talking out loud is, helping me get it off my chest, considering I might not be able to go to therapy for a while because of insurance. But it's a whole different thing. But I felt myself getting bad again recently, which is terrifying because I've been so good for so long. Or better for so long, and I can feel myself regressing. I can feel myself feeling like I did when I was a freshman in high school. Feeling very, what if these people don't like me? These people are talking behind my back. These people don't like me because I'm annoying or, like, I'm weird or... Which, now that I'm older, I know is mostly bullshit. And people who don't like you for silly things like your little quirks, like asking questions a lot or, liking something different or, worrying that people don't like you because you're not good looking isn't something that happens in the real world as much. And maybe I'm not in the real world in some of your opinions. Maybe I'm just a kid about to be 20 years old in my, like, prime years or whatever, but it's a lot different from high school, that's for sure. High school is very shallow and very difficult, I guess, to read and work with. Because you can't please everyone in high school. You can't please anyone in high school. Something will always be wrong enough with you that someone's not gonna like you. And it's gonna hurt like fucking hell. Then you reach the real world and you're like, shit. It really doesn't matter if I have a mole on my nose. Really fucking doesn't matter if my hair is bright pink or if I have a nose piercing. Like, people don't give a shit about that stuff. People don't care. And I know they don't care. But deep in the back of my traumatized fuck shit stupid brain, I will still think that my coworkers don't like me, or my friends don't like me, or my friends don't want to hang out with me, or my friends are sick of me. And, I get that again, but it's gotten worse, and I can't figure out why. I don't know what it is, excuse me, that's making me feel this way, and I wish I could get off this stupid negative train that's leading me into a downward spiral. Which is another reason I haven't really come up with any content either. I have been writing a lot of poems and putting shit together. And you'll see more of that in the coming weeks, but things are hard, believe it or not. Being depressed is very real and very scary. And I never ever want to have that interfere with what I really like doing and what I want to do, but it's it's hard to just kind of mute it. So I use it when I can, and I sulk when I can't, because I'm human, and so are the rest of you, I'm assuming. So you all have your fucking down days where you feel as though you can't get out of bed, you can't eat, you can't work, you can't bathe. I was seeing this kid for a little while. We weren't seeing each other for very long, and if you follow me on my private Instagram, a lot of you do, you know who I'm talking about. We had a great thing going. It was only a few weeks, but he hit a depressive episode, and we stopped talking because he didn't want to drag me down with him. And I understand that, and I appreciate the consideration, even though I explain that's not how I work, and that I am only brought down by myself, and I'm willing to focus on someone else to avoid myself, and maybe that's selfish. Not work on someone else, that's a poor choice of wording, but to be there for someone else and to listen to someone else, to avoid my own problems. And I realized when we stopped talking that I didn't have any problems, that I was in a good spot for myself, and I only felt poorly because of the other person. So I proved myself wrong in the way that I'm happier without someone else making me sad. And he didn't make me sad because he was upset. He made me sad because he isolated himself from me get to discuss what was happening, and it was all very sudden to me because I didn't notice. Maybe this is TMI, oversharing, I don't know. You don't have to listen to this. This is just my ramblings. But this is what I figured out, is that people's emotions do have a big effect on my own. So I've tried to also take the opposite into account and realize that my feelings could affect the way other people feel. But what that does to me is makes me bottle up everything I'm feeling and not tell anybody, which is why I'm in therapy. LOL. But when you don't talk to someone that you love or trust about the feelings that you have towards them, it isolates them, and they get frustrated, and you get frustrated, and it's just really not a fun time. It's miserable. So what I've been trying to do, because I don't want to regress, and I don't want to be 15 again, is I've tried communicating my feelings in a way that is less guilt-trippy. Let me explain. When I was younger, and I would get in a bad place, and someone would ask me what was wrong, or I would go to someone and tell them what was wrong, I would say, I'm a piece of shit, you don't deserve to be treated like this, you don't deserve to listen to my bullshit. Which I still think is true, to some extent. I don't like putting my bullshit on other people. Venting for me is very difficult. But the way I did it when I was younger was very destructive, very bad for everyone involved, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So now I try to use I statements. I feel like I'm giving you a coaching session or a therapy session, and maybe you need it, maybe you want me to shut the fuck up. But I use I statements. I say, I feel like I'm a burden, or I feel as though I'm coming on too strong. I feel as though I'm asking for too much reassurance. Blah, 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 blah. And then go from there. And it works a lot better, especially with people that I'm close with. My best friends know me, and they call me on my bullshit anyway. But this has gone more smoothly than me saying, oh, I'm a piece of shit, I am hurting you, you are distancing yourself from me because I'm a piece of garbage. Like, it's not accusatory, and it's not destructive to be like, hey, I'm sad, this is why I feel sad, please help me feel less sad, or distract me from being sad. Like, just be my friend, you know? So, if you needed that advice, that's that for you. And I'm so sorry that this has become some sort of weird existential podcast. That was never my intention. My intention was to talk about poetry. But it seems as though that's been on hold because I'm depressed. As you do. You know, you just get depressed sometimes. And it's something that happens. I am on year 2 of being, or year 3 actually, of being treated for bipolar disorder. And I feel as though I've gotten a lot better than I used to be. I used to be very impulsive and very impulsive. But very, feelings based and not thinking, and very, very destructive. And, the whole idea of a manic pixie dream girl, yeah, that's based on people like myself and people with similar tendencies that I have, of doing impulsive things or stupid things because, I feel not indestructible, but very, I don't want to say manic, but manic. You know what I mean? And maybe we can get further into mental health as a topic in general. But I did not think before I acted, and it got me into a lot of trouble. And growing up and dealing with that kind of shit has taught me a lot. I still spend ridiculous amounts of money on things I don't need, but it's a work in progress. I'm getting there. But for now, I'm working on not feeling like every bad thing is the end of the world. I attach myself to people very quickly, so when they leave or things don't work out, I take it very personally. I feel like it's always my fault, and it's taken me, I'm 19 now, it took me maybe 5 or 6 years to realize that it's not always my fault, and that other people can also do things wrong. It's crazy, I know. It's insane that people could also be wrong. or, hurt you. And you could be completely innocent sometimes. Not that I'm completely discounting my involvement in any of my past relationships as innocent. Because I did do some things wrong more recently. I'm not exempting myself from any blame here, but I am realizing that it's never just one person. And it takes two people to completely stop working together to fuck up a relationship. So I'm single, if you couldn't tell. And I plan on being single for a decent amount of time, considering the fact that, Tinder sucks. Which is something that I could go on for hours about how horrible it is. It is a hookup app, we've already established that, but, it's just really depressing to look at matches and have to, exhaust yourself with weird pickup lines and conversation starters, and they might not get you, they might not... It's just so nerve-wracking. There's a lot of pressure when you're single to, find good things about people you match with on Tinder, and it's not worth it. So I plan to stay single, at least until, something happens naturally, I guess. My mom tried to set me up with her friend's son at one point. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't really have any intention of dating right now, unless it's someone that, I know and someone I'm interested in, and I don't really have anyone like that right now because no one has shown interest in me right now, and I haven't started any sort of conversation. I feel as though I need to have a crush on someone first. So, my plan is to stay single until I meet cute. Until someone sets me up with someone worthy of my time and someone who is willing to deal with my stupid quirks. And it happens for people. I don't know how. I've asked. Can't really figure it out, but haven't lost hope yet. But I am getting there. Over vacation, I had a long talk with my friend. We were drunk, granted, but it was an important conversation, I think, that not every one of my past relationships has ended because of me being too much. A lot of the stuff that past people that I've been with have said to me has stuck and has meant more, I think, to me than it was meant to. A saying that has stuck in my head from one of my, not even relationships, but I dated this kid and got called clingy and very high maintenance, and it just stuck with me forever. And it's still kind of stuck with me, the fact that, I'm too much, and my emotions are a lot to handle, and no one's willing to do that. And that kid's with someone now, and they've been together for a decent amount of time, and that's awesome, because, people grow and change. So I want to think that someone is willing to put up with me, or that I'm willing to grow and change for someone, and be less clingy and high maintenance. I don't know, I took it really personally, because that was my one fear. That was what I was afraid of, and it was pretty much confirmed for me. Which sucks, but, you can only, there's only up from here. I can only go up from here, whatever the fucking saying is, but I'm trying my best to, believe that there is someone out there for me. Relationships are stupid, and I'm only 19 years old, so it's not the end of the world if I'm single for a few years. But I never really got the chance to date in high school because, again, I felt myself very weird, very unlikable. There was a whole, I don't know, my first real boyfriend was freshman year, and he ended up cheating on me, so I already had pretty low expectations for that kind of shit. When I left high school, I dated for a little bit, and it's really not all it's cracked up to be, I'm gonna be honest. But I'm trying my best to appreciate the single life while I can. And maybe find someone who's willing to like me and not like a version of me that they think I am. And, also fuck Tinder. Just fuck Tinder. I'd rather meet someone on Twitter at this point. This is not an invitation for you guys to hit me up on Twitter. But follow me on Twitter at WillowFaith. Willow, F-E-Y-T-H. Thank you for the plug. Okay, awesome, wonderful. I don't know. I don't really have much to say this week besides sulking myself, and that wasn't really the intention. I hope you guys got something out of this, that, not being in a relationship is not the end of the world, shockingly enough. Even though it's nice to be wanted and to be, treated like you put the stars in the sky, like, it's hard to find. I haven't found it yet. A lot of my friends haven't found it yet. Some of my friends have, and that's fucking great. And I'm not bitter. And I know saying that sounds really bitter, but that's not the intention. The intention is for me to understand that it's not the end of the world. And I'm still growing and still coming into myself as a person. So a serious relationship isn't what I need right now. It's what I'd like, for sure. Won't argue with that. But it's not necessary for me to live. I have wonderful friends. I have a great family. My sister's fucking awesome. My mom's fantastic. My dad is proficient at this point. So I don't really need a significant other. This is me coming to terms with that. I will make people into things that they are not and get my hopes up, and then get disappointed when they prove themselves to not be what I'm looking for. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe I'll try to stop doing that and just have fun. Maybe I'll just focus on myself and write more poetry. I intend to have some sort of collection published by the end of this year, beginning of next year, so that's really exciting. I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I hope you guys stick around for that. And when my podcasts become more fun and less depressing. But I gotta figure out the technology for that first, so I can get guests on the podcast and get video up. We're almost there. At least we have a working microphone now. I'm literally recording this on my iPad, but it's fine. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I'll see you next week with another podcast. Thank you so much for listening. My patrons for the month: Haley Park, IDK, LOLZ, Willow's mom, Taylor Marshall, Caitlin St. Louis, Sophia, Tina, Shelby Church, Emily Buchanan, Amanda Satterfield, Kat, Holly Rapkin, Mary Cabral, Molly, and Gina. Thank you so much for your contribution to this mess. Thank you for your patience, and everyone else who is listening, thank you for yours as well. I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.